The angles inside of a quadrilateral have to be 360 degrees. So when you get done with a quadrilateral, you've got to have 360. So if I want to solve this first one right here, what do I need to do? Just add them all up and then subtract from 360. Now if you want to write the equation would be that's what I would be solving. All of the stuff that's over here, go ahead and combine it just like it is. Do not change any signs. Just add it up. So 79, 63, and 112. 264. 254, 264. 254. So minus the 254. Do 360 minus the 254 and get what was that, 106? That's all there is to that now. If it's just a X and you've got the three other numbers, add them up, subtract the 360, get your answer. All right, take care of that second one. All right, give me the equation I should use.
X plus 58 plus 134 plus 71 equals.
So I should have that. What is all this stuff right here added up?
X plus 263.
Equals 360 minus the
X
263.
equals 97.
How could I check these if I wanted to?
Do the vice versa, the opposite.
Well, plug in 97 for this X, add up 97, 58, 134, and 71. Make sure you got 360, you got your answer.
You can do 360 minus all of them.
Yeah, it's the same thing. All right, so what would my equation be right here?
Teacher, please excuse the interruption. I have a couple of announcements I wanted to make.
All right, so what would my equation be for this first one? 2x plus 10 plus 105
Plus 85 plus 9
equals.
360.
There you go. Same process. I'm going to take all of this stuff that's on the same side and go ahead and combine it just like it is. Not change any signs or any of that.
That's 115.
290.
290.
All right, now what?
You, instead of multiplying 2x, divide.
I disagree. What's my next step? Subtract the 290.
Oh, that.
I got to have the x part by itself before I can worry about dividing. So 2x equals 70. So 7. Divide by 2. X is 35. All right, give me the equation.
5x minus 10 plus 110 plus 34 plus 76 plus 76.
So I should have 5x minus 10 plus the 110 plus 74 plus 76.
Then you get 5x plus 250.
5x plus what?
250 equals 360.
Minus the 250. 5x equals 110. All right, now what if it did this? Said, okay, well, x is 22. Well, I want to know what the angle is. What would I need to do then?
5 times 22 minus 1 10.
If I wanted to find out what this angle was, all I'd have to do is plug in that 22. 5 times 22 minus the 10, and you'd have your angle. All right, give me the equation.
6x plus 75
Everybody agree with that?
So the middle number, like you see they had the same number on there. Like if it was one smaller, it'd go in the middle. Or it'll matter what
It doesn't matter what order. Now, I was hoping you were about to say something because I thought you were fixing to point out what I was wanting to point out. What do I notice about these right here? They are the same. And if the opposite angles are the same, that means it's a parallelogram. Well, if these are the same, the 75 and 75, then that means those have to be the same also. And I could take this equation, instead of working that long equation right there, I could just say 6x plus 9 equals 105 and work that equation. But you can only do this way right here if the opposite angles are the same. If they're not the same, then you got to do it the way we did the last few. Add up everything equal to 360. To me, the 6x plus 9 equals 105 is way easier. All right? But again, that only works if the opposite ones match up. So here I would do the minus 9. 6x equals, what is that? 96 divided by the 6. You get 16. All right? So if I'm doing one like this and I see the opposite angles match, I'm going to do the second equation instead of the first. All right, do that second one over there. All right, the equation for this second one, if we notice that 112 equals 112, then 5x minus 12 has to equal 68. Add the 12. 5x equals 80. Get 16. And again now, when can I do this?
When the two angles are equal.
Which two angles though? We've got to be specific. Opposite. When the opposite angles are equal, I can say 5x minus 12 equals 68 and work that. All right, now on these, it says find the angles. Well, what do we have to find first before we can find the angles?
Right here.
No. What do I have to find first before I can figure out what the angles are?
Oh,
X.
I've got to find x first. Well now, can I do this one the shortcut way? No, because the opposite ones are not equal. So I've got to do this one by saying 3x plus 5 plus x plus 40 plus 100 plus 65 equals 360. That's the only way I can do that one. What do I need to do with all of this junk right here?
Add it up.
Combine it just like it is. Do not change any signs. So 3x plus x is 5 plus 40 plus 100 plus 65. I think that's 210. Y'all check me on that.
Yeah, you're right.
All right. Minus the 210. $150 divided by 4.
37.5.
All right, so there's my x. But it's asking me to find C and D. So then what do I need to do? Take that x, plug it in for both parts. So for angle C, it would be 3 times 37.5 plus 5. Somebody tell me that answer.
117.
Say it again.
117.
And then for angle D, I would say 37.5 plus 40, which is 77.5. So what should I probably do at this point to check myself?
Plug
Go
it in,
back.
I'm going to add up the 77.5, the 117.5, the 100, and the 65, and make sure it gives me what number?
360.
It should be 360. Double check that and make sure we're right. 77.5 plus 117.5 plus the 100 plus the 65. It is? So we know we've got the right answers. Give me the equation.
10x minus 15 plus 6x plus 3 plus 9.
Equals 360.
All right. 6x plus 3 plus 10x minus 15 plus 9 plus 9 equals 360. Does the order over here on the left make a difference?
Yeah, no.
Could I have put 10x minus 15 first?
Yes.
Sure. It's going to be the same thing at the end. All of this junk combines just like it is. 6x plus 10x is 16x. 3 minus 15 plus 90 plus 90
168.
is 168. Minus the 168,
192. That's 12.
I wind up with X being 12. What do I do with that 12?
Plug it in.
Plug it into both parts. So angle W there would be 6 times 12 plus 3. That's 75. Angle Z would be 10 times 12 minus 15. 105 and 75 is 180. Plus the 90 up here is 270. Plus the 90 right there is 360. So we know we got it right. Are there any questions on what we've done so far?
So if it don't have like a number like the first one have, if it have like the angle of stuff, it will be automatically like that. It's a right angle, so it's 90 degrees.
If you ever see the box, it's automatic 90. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, for parallelograms, we've already kind of talked about this. What is the rule for angles as far as parallelogram goes? There's 2 rules you need to know.
They all add up to 360.
Well, there's 3 rules you need to know. That's one of them, but specific rules that I gave you for parallelograms.
If they're opposite angles,
They have
if
to
they're
be-
equal.
All right, oh, stop right there. If they're opposite, they have to be equal. All right? What's the other rule? If they're opposite, they have to be equal. And if they're consecutive, they have to do what? If they are consecutive, they have to do what?
Add up to
180.
Add up to be 180. If they are opposite, they have to be equal. If they are consecutive, they have to add up to be 180. So when I see this 122 right here, I know that that is opposite, which means what? It's got to be 122. If I know it's a parallelogram, the opposite ones have to match. And if the opposites are 122, then here are my 2 consecutive ones. What's the rule for consecutive again?
That's
Add up to be 180. So if this corner is 122 and that corner is 122, then the others have to be 180 minus 122. And once I know one of them, then the other one's got to match it. So if I'm looking at the second one right here, which one is going to match that 72?
What?
The Y. Those are opposite, they have to match. And then to find X and Z, I would just do 180 minus what's there.
That's it.
All right, shouldn't take you very long on that last one. Which one matches the 53?
Why?
Those are opposite, so they match. That means X and Z are going to be 180 minus that 53.
137.
All right. Are there any questions or problems with parallelograms like that? Those are the easiest ones to me to deal with. All right, copy these down, and then I'll show you what we got on these.